Hi, everyone. Welcome to SNAPSHOTS, a physical education standards implementation video series created through a partnership with the Minnesota Department of Education, MnShape, and MnDape. I'm Mary Thyssen-Miller, and I serve as the State Physical Education Specialist at the Minnesota Department of Education. The 2018 Minnesota Academic Standards in Physical Education were developed by physical educators from across the state. The Minnesota Department of Education facilitated that process and then formed a physical education standards leadership team made up of the co-chairs of the MDE Physical Education Standard Development Team, executive board members of the Minnesota Society of Health and Physical Education, or MnShape, leaders in adaptive physical education representing MnDape, and representatives of higher education. This leadership team designed a 3-year implementation assistance plan to support Minnesota physical educators as they plan for implementation of the standards in the 2021 to 22 school year. The focus for the first year was to get to know the standards by breaking them down by individual standard and benchmark, reviewing the academic language and learning progressions within them, and then deconstructing and building bundles. In 2019, we were in the middle of the second year of the professional development when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and that put a dramatic pause on the training plan. We are now 22 months later. The COVID-19 pandemic has delayed the implementation of the 2018 academic standards in physical education until the 2023 to 24 school year. Our plan is to continue with the Year 2 Professional Development Series. However, it's clear to us that the pandemic has impacted our teaching dramatically and that refreshers in the foundational topics we covered in Year 1 may be needed. As a result, this video series was created to provide a short snapshot of them. It's the intention of each video to be a short, concise review and be available for teachers online at any time that's convenient on either the MDE or MnShape websites. A teacher may watch them in order or go directly to a desired topic. They can be viewed individually or on teacher teams. This slide identifies the videos available. A short introduction to the series provides an overview. Then we begin with personalizing the standards, which is broken down into 3 short videos that review the importance of standards, introduces the new Minnesota Physical Education Standards, and breaks the standards down one by one. Videos on academic language, learning progressions, deconstructing benchmarks, and bundling benchmarks are also available. This video explores the academic language utilized in the 2018 Minnesota Academic Standards in Physical Education. The following are the objectives for this presentation. We will identify academic language utilized in the standards and provide strategies and tips in using academic language. Academic language refers to the vocabulary used within a discipline. It's used to engage students in learning and includes the means by which students develop and express content understandings. Teaching students academic language will enable them to better understand teacher explanations, participate in student discussions, and produce quality student work. In the context of physical education, think of it as the language that our students must speak and navigate in order to become physically active and healthy for a lifetime. This language includes PE-specific vocabulary as well as the understanding of activity-specific symbols and signals. Here are some examples of academic language used in the Minnesota 2018 Physical Education Standards. Critical elements are part of the body and specific movement processes used to perform the fundamental movement skills. A maturing pattern is a description of the desired critical elements and movement processes and indicates the student has reached the desired developmental pattern for the fundamental movement skill. An example using the terms critical element and maturing pattern can be found in the 2nd grade benchmark 2.1.3.4. Catch a self-tossed ball, demonstrating 2 of the 4 critical elements of a maturing pattern. The terms educational dance, educational games, and educational gymnastics are utilized instead of simply saying games, dance, or gymnastics, because we want to ensure that we can identify what students are learning in physical education. In this respect, educational means the action or the process of teaching someone on the knowledge, skill, and understanding of the type of movement. An example of using these terms is in the fifth grade benchmark 5.1.2.4. Perform non-locomotor skills as part of an educational game, educational dance, or educational gymnastics. Other academic language utilized are practice tasks, which are tasks or activities fostering the refinement of specialized movement skills within progressively more complex, challenging situations where students learn to modify and adapt skill performance to the demands of the task or activity. For example, a fourth grade benchmark 4.1.3.1, roll and throw underhand with accuracy in a practice task. Small-sided games are similar to practice tasks, but within a competitive context, such as 2 versus 1, 3 versus 2, or 2 versus 2, where task characteristics are modified, such as modifying equipment or spatial organization or rules to highlight the performance of the specialized movement skills. For example, fifth grade benchmark 5.1.3.3, throw overhand with accuracy in small-sided games. Tactics are purposeful movement choices based on an analysis of the situation. For example, in fifth grade, 5.2.1.4, apply offensive and defensive tactics in small-sided invasion games. Competency is defined as sufficient ability, skill, and knowledge to meet the demands of a specific task or activity. For these standards, competency is defined as the ability of individuals to participate at the recreational level with skill and ability in self-selected activities. For example, a ninth grade benchmark 9.1.2.1 demonstrate competency in one or more forms of dance, for example, hip hop, ballroom, ballet, cultural dances, modern, social dance, tap. Finally, 3 more examples of academic language used in the 2018 Minnesota Academic Standards in Physical Education. FIT. The acronym FIT outlines the key components of an effective exercise program and is applied to the health-related fitness components. The acronym stands for frequency, how often, intensity, how hard or challenging, time, how long, and type, what kind. An example can be found in the fourth grade benchmark 4.3.3.1. Identify the components of the FIT principle for cardiorespiratory fitness. Health-related fitness components include muscular strength, muscular endurance, flexibility, cardiorespiratory endurance, and body composition. An example can be found in the third grade benchmark 3.3.4.1 to find health-related fitness components and match them to a fitness assessment being used. And the overload principle, which means to progressively place greater stress or demands on the body to cause the body to adapt or become fit. The overload principle is accomplished by manipulating the frequency, intensity, time or duration, and type of activity. An example can be found in the sixth grade benchmark 6.3.3.3. Describe the overload training principle and how it affects fitness. To assist teachers in understanding the academic language used in the 2018 Minnesota Academic Standards in Physical Education, 3 appendixes were created. Appendix A is a glossary or definition of terms used throughout the document. Appendix B provides descriptions of the activity categories utilized in the Shape America descriptions. Appendix C identifies the key components or critical elements of a motor skill that can be observed, the sum of which is movement efficiency. Here are some elementary teaching strategies promoting academic language. Add an academic language objective to lessons. Say the term, post it, and reinforce it. Add specialized vocabulary, for example, using the term gallop, slide, or personal space. Spell the words in warm-up activities. Adapt the word for the day or apply the words with exit questions, such as, describe the pathway you took across the gym. Students can respond by using academic language during class, saying the words out loud as they move, or they can use the words in sentences during class. Here are some middle and high school teaching strategies for promoting academic language. Be explicit about discipline-specific vocabulary, such as a layup or corner kick. Model the use of general academic vocabulary. Incorporate problem-solving situations for students to use academic language. Use cue word sequencing, such as simultaneously, and use higher level functions, such as contrast the strategies used in badminton with those used in tennis to move an opponent around the court. Students can respond by writing or communicating specific language, work with partners and use vocabulary and complete sentences, or use cue words during oral or written assessments, such as, in badminton, I blank, whereas in tennis, I blank, to move an opponent around the court. Finally, here are some tips for promoting academic language. Use academic language yourself. Expect and hold students accountable for using academic language. Check for understanding and use technology or visual aids. There are many resources available to learn more about academic language and educational standards. One resource is the MDE Standards Portal. The portal was created by members of the MDE Academic Standards team to assist schools as they go through this complicated process of building standards-based systems. Concepts from the portal are integrated into the physical education professional development trainings. Please utilize this as a resource for yourself and school teams as you go through the standard implementation and review processes. This completes this presentation on exploring the academic language in the 2018 Minnesota Academic Standards in Physical Education as part of the Physical Education Standards Implementation video series. Once again, the intention of this series is to provide refreshers for the professional development topics covered in the first year of standard implementation trainings. Special thanks to the members of the MDE Physical Education Leadership Team on the development of the content and for their continued guidance in supporting quality physical education in Minnesota. For more information on professional development opportunities, stay tuned to the MDE Physical Education webpage or the MinShape website.